Welcome to Daily Stoic Practice. Today we're diving into a new lesson from Stoicism. 9 smart ways to deal with toxic people inspired by Stoic philosophy. At some point in your life, you've probably come across people who leave you feeling completely drained of energy. They could be colleagues or even close family members. Individuals who carry negativity with them, leaving you feeling exhausted and tense after every encounter. But what if you can't avoid these people? How do you protect your inner peace in these situations? The key isn't about changing them, but changing how you react to them. You can face toxic people while keeping your mind clear, your emotions balanced, and your calm intact. Sounds difficult, right? Don't worry, because today I'm going to share with you 9 smart ways based on Stoic philosophy that will help you safeguard your peace even when negativity surrounds you. These aren't just theoretical principles. These are practical ways you can apply to your everyday life. If you could face any negative situation without being affected, wouldn't that be something we all want? So let's dive into each way you can truly take control of your mind and emotions in every situation. And to begin, we'll explore the first essential concept. Self-awareness is your power. Have you ever been in a situation where someone walked into a room, immediately bringing a heavy atmosphere, and suddenly you felt your mood drop? You were working calmly, your mind was clear, and everything seemed to be going smoothly. Then a colleague started complaining about their job, their boss, or even their personal life. Just moments ago you were at peace, but now that heavy atmosphere has made you want to leave everything behind. You feel anxious and restless without really knowing why. And this is the moment when we need to pause and ask ourselves, why are we feeling this way? What has changed in this situation that has caused us to fall into these negative emotions? This is the first step in protecting our inner peace, self-awareness. We cannot control the actions or words of others. Some people bring positive energy, while others always carry negative emotions. And that's normal. Life isn't perfect, and we will always face these kinds of situations. But the issue lies in the fact that, instead of letting them control our emotions, we can entirely control how we react. As philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you that troubles you, but how you judge it. This means that external events and actions are not the real cause of our distress. It is how we perceive and judge those situations that determine our emotions. When you become self-aware, you understand yourself better, your strengths, weaknesses, and the things that easily affect you. Self-awareness is like standing in front of a mirror, seeing yourself clearly. When you understand why certain behaviors from others make you anxious, angry, or frustrated, you'll realize that the negative emotions come from within you, not from the other person. And once you become aware of this, you will be able to control your emotions much better. Think about it. If you truly understand that what others say or do doesn't define you, would you still let them easily affect you? When you recognize that you are in control of your emotions, not others, suddenly everything becomes lighter. Let's take a very ordinary example to understand this concept better. You are sitting in your office, the space is peaceful, and everything is going well. Your work is progressing, and you feel at ease. And then suddenly a colleague shows up. They start with some small complaints. This job is so hard, I never get the recognition I deserve. Then come the criticisms of the boss. Our boss is so unfair. I work hard, but I'm never rewarded. And on top of that, they start sharing personal grievances. Even at home, I have no peace. My family's always stressing me out. You begin to feel uncomfortable. You don't want to hear these things, but you don't know how to get away. At first, you may just sit and listen quietly, but as time goes on, you feel yourself being pulled into their negativity. Your mood, which was calm and joyful, has now turned into anxiety and frustration, and you just want to leave the room immediately. But then you stop and ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? You realize that it's not what they're saying that's the issue. It's how you're reacting to it. The discomfort isn't coming from what they are saying, but from how you're allowing your emotions to be controlled by them. What they say does not define you, nor does it directly impact your work. Their words are simply a reflection of their own state, not yours. When you understand this, you start to regain your composure. You no longer feel frustrated. Their complaints now seem like distant echoes, not affecting your mood. You return to your work, focusing on what matters, and continue without letting their negativity take away your peace. This kind of scenario can happen to any of us. It's a very ordinary situation, but the difference lies in how you choose to handle it. Self-awareness is the key to keeping your calm and not getting swept away by the emotions of others. When you know yourself, when you understand that your emotions are not controlled by the actions or words of others, you will always stay balanced. Always remember, you are the one in control of your emotions. You have the power to choose how to respond and to maintain your inner peace in any situation. This not only helps you stay clear-headed, but also creates a positive cycle, protecting yourself from external negative influences. Now that we've grasped the concept of self-awareness, let's move on to the next step in this journey, building emotional stability to help you stand firm in the face of any challenge that comes from outside. Number 2, build emotional stability. Have you ever felt yourself being drawn into the negative spiral of those around you? Have you ever felt like you were losing control of your emotions? Emotional stability is the foundation that helps you face any circumstance without being affected by external factors. It takes perseverance, but the result is that you become strong in the face of any challenge. Stoic philosophy reminds us that we cannot control everything around us, but we can completely control our own emotions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." This means that if you can keep your mind stable, no circumstance or situation can shake you. Emotional stability isn't about avoiding all difficulties, but maintaining calm and clarity even when everything around you is falling apart. It helps you make accurate decisions rather than being swayed by the whirlwind of emotions. To better illustrate the importance of emotional stability, let me share a story about the Stoic philosopher Seneca, one of the great thinkers of Stoicism. During a seminar, Seneca was presenting his philosophies when one of the attendees suddenly stood up and began harshly criticizing him. The person not only attacked Seneca personally, but also strongly disagreed with his views, using harsh and offensive language. The atmosphere in the room instantly became tense, and the other attendees began showing their disapproval of the way the person was behaving. Most people in this situation would react with anger or at least feel uncomfortable, but not Seneca. He sat quietly, calmly listening to all the criticisms the person was throwing at him. Not once did he interrupt or show any sign of being offended. And when the critic finished, instead of getting angry or responding harshly, Seneca simply smiled gently. He thanked the person for sharing their point of view and continued his lecture without being affected. This surprised everyone in the room, and the tense atmosphere immediately dissipated. Even the critics seemed confused, realizing that they had acted inappropriately. Seneca's calmness and composure not only helped him maintain his stance, but also caused others to reconsider their behavior. When you maintain emotional stability, you not only protect your inner peace, but also avoid hasty reactions to negativity from others. However, to keep this stability over the long term, you need to establish clear boundaries. This will help you maintain the necessary distance from negativity and prevent it from entering your life. Let's explore how to set these boundaries smartly. Number 3, set clear boundaries. Have you ever found yourself pulled into conversations or situations that you didn't want to be a part of? Sometimes others demand too much from you, and you feel like you don't have any personal space. This is when you need the courage to set clear boundaries to protect yourself. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you are cold or distant. On the contrary, it's a way to create healthy limits to protect yourself from unnecessary pressures. Seneca once said, "Don't let yourself be pulled into things beyond your control." This means that we need to be mindful of what we allow into our lives. When you learn to say no to unnecessary things, you'll feel freer, more focused on what's truly important to you. Boundaries help preserve your mental and emotional space, preventing it from being drained by unreasonable demands from others. Imagine you have a close friend who often shares negative stories and complains about their life. At first, you are willing to listen, but after a while, the continuous negativity starts to wear you down. You realize that you are gradually being drained of energy because you're taking in too much of their negativity. Instead of continuing to endure this, you can set a boundary. You can gently but firmly tell your friend, "I truly respect your feelings, but I also need time and space to care for myself. If we could talk about something more positive, I'd love that." This way, you're not only preserving your own positive energy, but also maintaining your relationship with your friend. Boundaries aren't walls that separate you from others, but rather doors that allow you to freely choose who or what enters your space. When you have clear boundaries, you not only protect yourself, but also help others understand that negativity has no place in your life. Take a moment right now to reflect on the boundaries you need to set in your life. You'll feel a sense of relief from unnecessary pressure. Protecting yourself doesn't mean you need to distance yourself from everyone. You can still understand and empathize without being affected, and that's exactly what we'll explore next. Number 4, understand, but don't internalize. Understanding others is essential to maintaining good relationships, but sometimes we get caught up in other people's negative emotions without realizing it. How do we understand without internalizing their feelings? Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "People do not trouble you, it's your thoughts about them that trouble you." This means that it's your reaction to others that determines your mood, not what they say or do. Understanding means recognizing another person's situation, empathizing with their difficulties. But not internalizing means you don't let their negative emotions affect you. It's crucial to keep your own calm and stability. You can empathize with others without necessarily adopting their negative feelings as your own. You can listen, show understanding, but not be swept up in their emotional storm. This allows you to maintain your emotional balance while still effectively supporting others. Let's imagine you're in a work meeting. Everything is going smoothly until one of your colleagues starts complaining about the unfairness at work. They say they aren't recognized for their abilities, while others are favored more. They express a lot of frustration and start criticizing the company, their coworkers, and their managers. The atmosphere in the room starts to feel tense, and you notice the negativity spreading. It's easy to get caught up in these feelings of dissatisfaction. You may start to think that perhaps you too are being treated unfairly. Your colleague's frustration begins to seep into your own thoughts, and you feel the same sense of neglect. But at that moment, you can stop and ask yourself, are these really my feelings, or am I just being influenced by their negativity? Instead of letting their negative emotions take over, you choose to reassess the situation. You realize that your colleague might be going through a tough time and feeling pressure and disappointment. However, that doesn't mean you have to share those feelings. You listen, understand, but you don't let their emotions dictate yours. You remain calm and don't allow their negativity to become your own. This example shows the importance of emotional distance. You can empathize with others, understand their pain, but don't let their feelings become yours. When you stand firm in your own emotions, you not only help others feel heard, but also protect the peace within yourself. Understanding is an important skill, but what's even more important is knowing how to maintain emotional distance. Don't let empathy pull you into others' negative emotional spiral. When you can understand without internalizing, you'll maintain peace and balance within yourself while still preserving good relationships. However, sometimes protecting your peace means learning how to say no gracefully. How do you decline without damaging relationships? Let's explore that in the next lesson. No 5. Learn to say no. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone asked for your help, and even though you knew you couldn't or shouldn't, you still found it hard to say no? We all have moments when it's difficult to say no. Maybe we fear disappointing others or losing their favor. But what many don't realize is that learning to say no not only helps you maintain your freedom, but it's also a way to protect your mental and physical well-being. Marcus Aurelius once said, Mastering your life means knowing how to say no to unnecessary things. This statement contains a valuable lesson. Knowing how to say no is the key to maintaining balance in life. When you can say no, you keep your personal boundaries clear and you prevent yourself from getting pulled into unnecessary situations that can drain your energy. This is especially important when dealing with people who repeatedly make unreasonable demands. Saying no doesn't mean you're cold or unwilling to help others. It simply means you're prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. You know that you can't please everyone all the time. If you don't learn how to say no, you'll easily lose balance between work and personal life, and eventually you'll feel overwhelmed. Let's imagine you have a close friend who frequently asks for your help. It could be small things like assisting them with a project, or sometimes larger requests like helping them finish a big task. At first, you're happy to help, but after a while, the constant demands start to feel like a burden. You realize that you no longer have time for yourself, and always saying yes has left you feeling drained. Instead of continuing to bear this, you can choose to decline politely and thoughtfully. For example, you could say, "I'd really love to help, but I'm currently busy with my own work. I hope you understand." By saying no this way, you not only uphold your personal boundaries, but also create space for yourself to take care of your own needs. If your friend truly respects you, they will understand and not feel hurt. Saying no doesn't mean refusing to help or being cold toward others. It means you're setting boundaries and protecting your time and energy. When you know how to say no, you'll avoid being dragged into unnecessary situations. But sometimes, instead of declining directly, you can use a smarter approach to change the conversation by asking open-ended questions. And now let's explore that. Number 6, ask open-ended questions. Asking open-ended questions is a smart way to redirect negativity. Instead of reacting harshly, use questions to encourage the other person to think more deeply about their behavior. When you ask open-ended questions, instead of arguing or judging, you're helping the other person become aware of their own issues. Open-ended questions encourage them to reflect more deeply and recognize their own emotions or actions. This allows them to adjust on their own without you needing to criticize or engage in heated debates. Open-ended questions not only help you escape negative conversations, but they can also change the way the other person views the problem. Let's imagine you have a colleague who frequently complains that they aren't recognized enough at work. They feel they're being treated unfairly and often vent about how their efforts go unnoticed. You might feel tension every time the conversation shifts in this direction. Instead of agreeing or disagreeing, you could ask an open-ended question like, "What would make you feel more recognized?" This way, you're encouraging them to think more deeply about their real needs and desires. Perhaps they'll realize that instead of just complaining, they can take specific actions to improve the situation. Or maybe they'll see that external recognition isn't as important as their own self-evaluation. This is a gentle but effective way to avoid being pulled into someone else's negativity while helping them recognize and improve the situation themselves. Asking open-ended questions not only helps you avoid tense conversations, but also helps the other person reflect on themselves without the need for a heated argument. When you use open-ended questions skillfully, you not only diffuse the tension, but also help the other person resolve their own problems. But sometimes there's another equally effective way to handle negativity, by finding humor. Let's explore that next. Number 7, find humor in the situation. Surely you've been in a tense situation where the atmosphere felt heavy and everyone around seemed uncomfortable. In moments like these, have you ever wondered, is there a way to ease the tension without arguing or confrontation? The answer might be simpler than you think. Sometimes a bit of humor can completely transform the situation. A smile, a well-timed joke can dissolve the tension and bring lightness to both you and the other person. Stoicism teaches us how to remain calm and composed in difficult situations. However, not every situation requires absolute seriousness. In moments of tension, finding humor can be a wonderful way to relieve pressure and create a more relaxed atmosphere. Humor in this context doesn't mean turning everything into a joke. The key is to find joy in small things, even in less than ideal circumstances. A lighthearted joke can change the entire mood of a room. It shows that no matter how serious things might seem, we can maintain a sense of optimism and not let ourselves be overwhelmed by negative emotions. Using humor also demonstrates that you aren't easily affected by negativity. Instead of arguing or opposing, you use humor to soften the tension and help everyone see the situation more lightly. Imagine you're attending an important meeting with the company's management team. The atmosphere is tense because the company has just received a major project, and everyone is struggling to allocate the resources needed to meet the deadline. One of the managers becomes frustrated and starts harshly criticizing the entire team, blaming each member for not anticipating problems and preparing better. Rather than letting the tension escalate and lead to conflict, you decide to lighten the mood with a touch of humor. You smile and say, "Maybe we should hire some fortune tellers to predict the future more accurately." The room falls silent for a moment, then everyone bursts into laughter, including the frustrated manager. This small joke not only broke the tension, but also helped refocus the group on finding solutions rather than assigning blame. Humor can be a powerful tool to ease tense situations. A simple smile or joke can diffuse stress and help you stay optimistic. But not every situation can be solved with humor. The best thing you can do is learn to let go of situations or relationships that no longer serve you. Number 8, learn to let go. Sometimes we hold on to relationships or situations that no longer bring us joy or value. But you know what? Letting go doesn't mean failure or giving up. It's a courageous act of self-care to protect your inner peace. The best thing you can do for yourself is to let things go and create space for more positive things in life. Epictetus once said, "Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot." This advice reminds us that not everything in life is within our control. Trying to control the uncontrollable only adds stress, exhaustion, and drains our mental energy. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It's a deep understanding that there are things we cannot change or hold on to. By letting go, we free ourselves from unnecessary pressures and open the door to focus on things we can control. Things that add value and positivity to our lives. A toxic relationship or situation only causes harm, and maintaining it out of responsibility or fear of loss will only pull you down. Letting go in this case is not abandoning others. It's a choice to live a healthier and happier life. Imagine you have a close friend who has repeatedly hurt you. Every time you try to repair the relationship because you feel responsible for the friendship or are afraid of losing someone you've known for a long time. However, every effort to mend the relationship only brings you more pain and stress. The relationship doesn't improve, and each time you meet, you feel more drained and pressured. After much reflection, you decide to let go. Not because you no longer care about your friend, but because you realize that holding on is only bringing you more suffering and unhappiness. When you finally let go, you feel an unexpected sense of relief. You start focusing on healthier relationships and positive aspects of your life, and you feel a newfound inner peace. Letting go isn't failure, it's liberation. When you realize that a relationship or situation is too toxic to change, having the courage to let go will bring you peace. But after letting go, it's important to build a positive environment where you are surrounded by good people and energy. That's the final way we'll explore together. No. 9. Seek out a positive environment. Every day, we come into contact with many people and situations, and the environment around us deeply affects our minds and emotions. Have you ever noticed that when you're around positive, optimistic people, life seems easier? This is why creating a positive environment around you is so important. When you're surrounded by good people filled with positive energy, you'll naturally become more optimistic and happy. Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "We are the product of the people we surround ourselves with." This means that the environment we live in plays a vital role in shaping our character and emotions. If you're frequently around people who bring positive energy, support you, and maintain a spirit of optimism, you'll feel that refreshing breeze of positivity as well. A positive environment is not just a place where you feel mentally safe, but also a place where you can grow, learn, and progress. It helps you stay away from negative influences, allowing you to remain calm and clear-headed, even in difficult situations. Additionally, a network of positive friends and colleagues can serve as a great source of motivation to help you achieve your life goals. Take a look around. Who are the people you spend the most time with? Do they provide support and encouragement? If not, maybe it's time to reevaluate your surroundings. Seeking and building a positive circle is the best way to maintain happiness and optimism in everyday life. Imagine having a group of close friends who, every time you meet, bring positive stories, inspiration, and never complain excessively. Even though life has its challenges, they always find the bright side of every situation. Every time you leave a gathering with them, you feel energized and ready to face whatever comes next. On the other hand, if you're frequently around people who are always criticizing, complaining, and viewing everything negatively, your mood will quickly drop. You'll feel weighed down and find it harder to stay motivated to move forward. That's why surrounding yourself with positive people isn't just a choice, it's a key factor in maintaining an optimistic mindset. When you choose a positive environment, you're not only creating a safe space for yourself, but you're also fostering growth and joy in your life. Surrounding yourself with positive people and activities is the best way to limit exposure to negative energy. Remember, you are the average of the people you spend the most time with, so choose relationships and environments that help you thrive. Life will always present us with challenges and negative people, but what matters isn't them or the circumstances, it's how we choose to respond. Stoicism doesn't just teach us to overcome challenges, it helps us find inner strength to stay calm through every storm. You don't need to change others or avoid all negativity. Instead, use these 9 ways to protect and nurture your inner peace. Remember, all peace begins within your own mind. When you master yourself, no one or nothing can break your peace. And always remember, every difficulty is an opportunity to grow stronger, and every negative person is a lesson in understanding yourself better. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more lessons on Stoicism, helping you build a stronger, freer, and happier life. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.